Hello, my found family, and welcome back to my channel. So one thing that has held me back from pursuing my dreams for years was a lack of self-confidence. And I grew up believing that there was a right or a wrong way to do everything, which means that I was literally terrified to make a mistake. I also spent a lot of time focusing on things that I didn't like about myself rather than focusing on things that I actually liked about myself. Self-confidence influences everything in your life, from the image that you portray at work, to who you pick as friends and romantic partners, to how you cope with the challenges in your life. Now, thankfully, self-confidence is a skill that you can develop and strengthen. And just like any other skill, it takes time to master. And mastery is achieved through taking deliberate action. So here are 5 daily actions to boost your self-confidence. Number 1, identify your principles and live by them. Principles are rules or beliefs that guide our actions. They're based on our values. So without identifying your principles, you might be feeling like you're running around in circles without actually accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish. Have you identified your principles yet? If not, don't freak out. There's no right or wrong time to identify them. I actually didn't identify my principles until 2 months ago, March 17th to be exact. So what I can share from personal experience is that before I took the time to identify my principles, I felt like a dog chasing its tail, and I felt like I had this mountain of things to figure out, especially for my coaching practice, and I just couldn't understand why I wasn't pinning any of them down. Now with my list, which I refer to every day, I feel more confident and much more aligned. If you need some inspiration, I'm going to share a few of my principles with you. Number 1, embrace failures as areas of opportunity for growth. Number 2, look at the world through the eyes of a child in a candy store. Number 3, developing a strength is much more impactful than focusing on a weakness. Number 4, don't allow anyone to tell you what's possible versus what's impossible. Number 5, be open-minded and as vulnerable as possible, even if it feels scary. Number 2, stand like Supergirl. Studies show that body posture affects confidence, and a specific study illustrates how the brain pays attention to your posture and decides how it should feel. How cool is that? It sounds simple, but another action to boost your self-confidence is to stand like Supergirl. You know the pose. Head held high, arms on both hips, cape flying around in the wind. All right, you might not necessarily have a cape on, unless you want to, but you know what I'm talking about. Have you ever tried doing this? Stand like Supergirl in the mirror. Take a break from your work and stand like Supergirl while you're preparing a meal. Heck, if you want, you could even stand like Supergirl during a commercial break. Number 3, focus on your strengths. Do yourself a favor and spend more time focusing on the things that you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're a rock star at doing. The more time and energy that you spend focusing on your strengths, the more confident that you're going to feel. And make this a daily habit, even if it means writing out your strengths on a piece of paper, on a sticky note, and putting it on your computer or on your mirror, or writing them out in a journal entry and reading it every morning and before bed. When I got let go from my last job about a year ago, I was filled with self-doubt. And the self-doubt didn't necessarily come from not having a job anymore. It came from not knowing what I was good enough at doing next. So after a week of wallowing and feeling myself slipping into a depression, I decided to change my behavior. So that following Monday, I woke up and I made a list of all the things that I'm good at. And I filled myself up with so much confidence and so much certainty that I snapped out of my depression, started my podcast, which is called Found Family Podcast. I registered myself to become a certified life coach, and I had the most kick-ass few months of my entire life. Honestly, I think I got more done in those months than I had gotten done in a few years. And to this day, I still refer to that list of strengths, and it fills me with this confidence and reminds me that I'm a warrior. Number 4, accomplish one task from A to Z. Are you a multitasker, or more specifically, someone who takes on too many projects at one time, spreads herself too thin, and tries to change the world all in one day? Oh, great, so it's not just me. My former mentality was, okay, so I've got 3 projects that I want to get done by the end of the month. So that means I'm going to start 2 of them today, and then I'm going to work on this one for an hour, and then I'm going to work on that one for an hour, and then I'm going to stop. I can already feel the headache coming on. While it's great practice to manage your time when it's needed, especially for our jobs when we have to take on more than one thing at a time, I am definitely learning the importance of seeing things through to completion before moving on to the next thing. And since we're talking about daily actions here, boost your self-confidence by accomplishing 1 task a day, fully from A to Z. It's a pretty magical feeling to cross that one thing off your list. Know that it's done, move on, and not have to go back to it. Just saying. And number 5 is to smile in the mirror. So do you remember how we talked about doing this Supergirl stance in the mirror to boost your self-confidence? Well, smile in the mirror every day too. It might sound weird, but hear me out for a second. When you see someone smiling, does it make you feel better? Or at the very least, does it make you think about the concept of happiness? I don't know about you, but it definitely makes me feel better. By smiling in the mirror, you are visually seeing happiness, which can shift your mood. And the magical thing about this is that you can add this to your things I have control over list, because you're controlling how often you see this visual. Don't wait to see someone else smile. See yourself smile. And don't wait to smile until you feel better. Smile to feel better. It might not happen right away, but as I shared earlier, just like any other skill, self-confidence takes time to master. So be patient with yourself. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I have new videos coming out every single Friday.